Welcome right to another edition of WCW 2006 here in TEW 2020. And before we get to the first show of the build up to WrestleWar and dealing with everything else in the aftermath of Sacrifice, first a little reveal here. So I know I mentioned a couple times that I was trying to do basically a little bit of a newsletter, dirt sheet type format to look over some of the news and in canon explain some weird booking decisions by the EA and such. And I was able to finally do this. I figured right before I took over for Mania was a good time since it involves the storylines and such, and so and it was a fun little writing project, honestly. So it's not nothing insanely long, but the link is in the notes for the video as usual. I also might throw it up as a direct link on the community page, maybe not, but again, there are some slight spoilers for future storylines, but it's nothing people shouldn't be too shocked by. But yeah, so we got news about WrestleMania, a sort of in-universe review of both Raw and SmackDown I booked, along with the Super Bowl whoops, why did I say Super Bowl here? That should not be Super Bowl. I'm a moron. I might have to edit that before I send it out to you guys. That was moronic of me. Anyway, and then some other random news from Impact, New Japan, and the other companies. Again, this is not an actual observer or anything, but sort of in that style, and trying to have a bit of fun with things. But anyway, let's get on with the show. So, we're at Nitro, live from beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in front of a sold-out crowd of 13,000 plus, and we start off with our Sacrifice highlights, courtesy of WCW.com, focusing on AMW winning a spectacular tag match, Kanyon winning the strap match, Eddie Guerrero getting his ass kicked by Brother Ray, perhaps going over the line, and AJ Styles retaining the WCW World Championship as this gets a 74. But the show starts off with Brother Ray's music hits, and he actually gets a mixed reception because, again, fans like an ass kicker, but there's some booing as, they believe he went too far. And he comes down and, he says, last night at Sacrifice, I did what I had to do. I fought fire with fire against Eddie Guerrero. We went through the lighting stages. We went all over the arena. We went through the backstage, sprawled in the parking lot, and fought all over Chicago. But that's what you do when you're pushed to the edge. That's what you do when you're pushed over the edge. That's what you do when you're fighting for respect. I've been saying for weeks, I'm sick and tired of damn respect. Last night, I proved my point. I proved that I can go to any extreme, that I can just be just as ruthless as anybody else in this business, whether it's Guerrero, Wright, Palumbo, or anybody else in this damn business. So, if that means taking somebody like Eddie Guerrero out of the picture, so damn be it. Because I'm a survivor, and I proved that last night at Sacrifice, that I was not going to be this damn sacrifice. George Bischoff came out and says, look, Brother Ray, you did more than prove a point last night. You crossed a line. This is about disrespect. This is about the safety of our wrestlers and integrity of this company. I watched you did Eddie Guerrero, and general manager, I cannot let that behavior slide. So, I have no choice but to, and then cue the truce music in case he comes down. And, he stands atop the ring for a second. And then he comes down to the ring and has to start down with Brother Ray. And he says, Eric, hold up a minute. We're going to make any rash suspensions. Hear me out. Look, brother, I get it. You've had it with overlooked, disrespected, I've been there. But tearing each other apart isn't the way. Instead of suspending him, I want Brother Ray in that ring tonight. And, Brother Ray's sort of talking past, as Trish says, Ray, we worked together against Chosen Few in lots of matches. We've been in the trenches together. But you don't have to go down this path to prove your point, man. Just get in that ring and fight. Hell, we've got world title matches. I haven't. And, Ray says, truth, working together, look what that got me. Passed over by guys like Alex Wright. Where's my respect? Where's my shot? Now you come here acting like you're trying to help me. If you don't respect me, Truth, then I guess I'll have to teach you a lesson too. And Truth there was like, Ray, it's not about respect, man. Disrespect, man. I've always respect for you, both in and out of the ring. But if you want a match, if you think that's the way it's sorted out, then I'm game. I never back down from a challenge. And, Bischoff frantically says, all right, you got to sell this in the ring? That's fine. Tonight's main event, Brother Ray versus the Truth. Let's see if we can resolve some of these issues. So big pop for that, as this gets an 87, and yep, I know folks can sort of guess where it's going, but you might be surprised. As this gets an 87, good stuff, these guys aren't super duper over. I mean, Brother Ray kind of is, but some downside, let's say fully rated Bischoff, but fun stuff. And then we come back for commercial. We don't have a match. We actually have Desiree Dawkins and Lexi James of Captivation coming down to the ring as the announcers, point out that Lizzy Duma is still being looked at medical professionals in Chicago after what happened at the cage match at Sacrifice. And Mickie James takes the mic and said, not Mickie James, that's, Lexi James, IP after all. She says, last night at Sacrifice, our leader, Lizzy Duma, suffered a severe knee injury, and it's all thanks to Tricia Skye. We are here to demand justice for what happened to our leader, our brave warrior, who was taken out by a maniacal woman like Tricia. And then we're not going to stand back and watch while she gets away with it over and over again. We want her right here, right now for a match. We're going to show you what happens when you mess with Captivation. And then after a moment, down comes Tricia Skye, and she says, she's at the top right. He's like, Lexi, Desiree, look, you're upset about Lita, and that's fine. But let's get one thing straight. Her injury happened because she took a risk on our cage match because I was kicking her ass. And she was so desperate, she went up there and tried to hit a moonsault, and it didn't work out for her. That's the nature of this business. Injuries happen. But if you two are looking for a fight to avenge her, because of which you believe, I'm right here. But I'm not alone tonight, because I saw you two yapping out here, and I found a partner who's just about upset about her night at Sacrifice as you're about yours. And just like me, she's a former Women's World Champion. So, Celine, get out here. Big pop. As Celine Cartier comes, out to the top of the ramp with Tricia Skye. And she says, Mickie, or Lexi, Desiree, was a day today? It says, that's, are you ready to fight in French? Because I am more than ready. Last night didn't go as I planned, but that doesn't mean I'm backing down from the challenge, especially when it comes to standing along Tricia. As she would say, the sky's the limit for us, and we're here to prove it right the hell now. Not bad. Unfortunately, bad roles for Tricia and Lexi, and this is sort of quasi-continuing the story, even though it'll go to a different direction. But, since Lizzy did injure her knee at the pay-per-view, I figured this would be a good little, attempt at revenge for the heels, and yeah, it doesn't go well for them, unfortunately. This isn't like a squash. Like Desiree and Lexi get their shots in. They get to do some heel work. Throw. Tricia gets to play face in peril. They actually go after her knee a little bit, but eventually Tricia fights back, hits a chick kick, makes the big hot tag to Celine Cartier. Cartier runs in House of Fire, big lariat, big suplexes, big boots, throws both women around. Eventually Dawkins, goes after her. Cartier gets advantage. Slice Leve, air raid crash, 1, 2, 3, and Skye and Cartier get the victory. As it gets a 76, as Cartier gets a 74, Skye gets a 75, James gets a 63, Desiree Dawkins gets a 62, and post-match, Tricia and Celine celebrate as this gets a 70. And honestly, this pretty much ends the feud. I just felt bad, there's, because, realistically, this would be, set up for some sort of revenge, but faces go on, and both women move on to what they're doing next. So there we go. As we move forward, here on Nitro, we're backstage, as Booker and Shelton are backstage, and Jarrett and Divine, come into their locker room, and, upset and saying, it was basically BS, you got lucky, we deserve another shot at you because we're the chosen few, slapnuts, and if you don't, we're going to take you out right the hell here. And, Booker and Shelton get up for a fight, but, Booker says, Seka, we beat you 1, 2, 3 in the middle of that damn ring. This man rises, the hottest young star in the business today, kicked your ass, Jeff. But here's the thing. We get a chance to get in that ring one-on-one, Jeff. So how about this? We go in there tonight on Nitro, and if you beat me, fine, you guys get another shot. But if I remind you why I'm a six-time world champion and 11-time tag team champion, then you shut your mouth up. Can you dig that? And Jarrett's basically fine. But tonight, you're the chosen few, and you two are two lucky punks. Really good promo, because Booker and Shelton are great. Booker and Jeff are great. I didn't rate Shelton Divine, but 100, and sort of builds up main event later tonight. And then we cut backstage to a promo with Jared Barmash is with WCW Cruiserweight Champion Maverick Chance. And, he asks him about being attacked last week on Nitro, and Maverick says, I understand the dangers in this ring. I understand the dangers in life, whether I'm on a motorcycle, whether I'm base jumping or skydiving. But I face those dangers head on. So, whoever attacked me last night, I'm going out to Nitro next week, and I want them to come out and face me man to man. So I give them a taste of a little bit of what I think of them. So, nothing fancy here, just a pretty simple promo. Unfortunately, Matt Cross not the best promo guy, but nothing, just doesn't kill things. We just move forward. As we have an interesting yes. See, this is why you occasionally do interesting things, folks, because sometimes the TEW gobs smile upon you. So of course, after re-debuting last night, Ray Gordy teams up with Jamie Noble here, and they defeat Jerry Lynn and Shannon Moore, our resident jobbers, when a little bit, just a complete squash. Ray Gordy is able to come in, hit a few big suplexes, eventually hits Jerry Lynn with a big Gordy-style powerbomb, and gets the pinfall victory here. This gets a 68 because it's a complete squash. Gordy gets a 63, Noble gets an 88, Moore gets a 51, Jerry Lynn gets a 49, but do you see that? Jamie Noble and Ray Gordy showed excellent chemistry teaming together. Ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Let's be honest, it's gentlemen. Come on. What girl watches TEW 2020 videos? But anyway, 68. And then in the ring. Yeah, that makes sense. You did. Okay. So they take the mic and, Jamie Noble says, did y'all see that? That what happens when a real techno wrestler steps in that ring. And last night's Sacrifice, I showed that again. When I ran into Rey Mysterio Jr., proved he's nothing but a fluke. And it was all part of the plan. You see, a while back, a guy with a great pedigree in this business called me up and said he was ready to get back in that damn ring. But nobody was taking his calls. And I was being annoyed by Ray Jr. and Mike Sydal. And I formed a plan. And that plan came to fruition at Sacrifice. And now, I've got a partner, somebody who understands life to be overlooked and underestimated. Ray, tell him. And Ray takes me and says, let me reintroduce myself. 2 years ago, you may be reminded I was part of the chosen few. Ready to take WCW by storm alongside Maverick Jindrak and Jeff Jarrett. But then, in the match, I suffered a severe neck injury. Then, just as I was about to come back, I suffered a major infection. I've been gone from this business for almost 2 damn years. And when I needed some support, Jeff Jarrett was no longer around. He lost my number, and he didn't show the hell up. Now, anybody who knows the history of Southern Wrestling knows that's typical Jarrett behavior. Now, that's actually gets some cheers. And Ray, says, but I'm not here for your damn sympathy. I don't need it. I'm the son of Terry Gordy, and I stand tall on my own. But now I've got a new mentor, someone who respects what I've brought to this ring. Jamie Noble isn't just a partner. He showed me what it means to fight back and claim what's rightfully ours. And, Noble takes Mike says, Ray here is exactly right. We've been knocked down, but keep getting back up, no matter how much you idiots despise it. We're just not a tag team, we're a statement. We're going to dominate and take over, whether it's Rey Mysterio Jr. or any other so-called hero in WCW or any other tag team. They're all on notice now. And then, Gordy says, with Noble by my side, we're going to carve a path through WCW. We're bringing the fight, and we're not backing down. This is just beginning. The legacy of Terry Gordy lives through me, and alongside with Jamie Noble. We're just on a tag team. We're Syndicate. The Southern Syndicate. So there you go. 78. Decent promo. Gordy has to get over. Noble's pretty good, though. So there we go. Good stuff. And then, okay, probably should have done these after a match, but oh well. Occasionally, that happens. So we come back from commercial. The lights go dark. The music hits, and out comes the reconstituted Nest. Now Raven, Prophet, Morgan, and for now, Jonathan Toro, since we don't know who he is. I guess he's still Jonathan Toro. Hopefully Raven will let us know what's going on. And he takes the mic and says, last night at Sacrifice, The world witnessed the emergence of a new order, the true evolution of power here in WCW. Evolution thought they could stand against us, but they were merely pawns in a game they could not comprehend. With the addition of this man, the nest is now complete, a force of destruction, decadence, and chaos. It is a promise, a symbol of what we represent, a reflection of the society we despise, a society that we tolerate piece by piece. Now, let me welcome the newest member of the nest. Because see, he's no longer a mobster, he's no longer an emperor. He is the embodiment of the change we bring. He is Red Rum. He is the physical manifestation of our message, a message of anarchy, of rebirth through destruction, and desolation. With him at our side, the nest is stronger and more dangerous than ever. But this is only the beginning. Our wings will spread wider, casting a shadow over WCW. We'll dismantle the foundations of this company brick by brick until nothing is left but the world we create. A world with the forgotten, the outcast, and the downtrodden reign supreme. Evolution, you've only tasted a fraction of our wrath, and all will face it. The nest is just a faction, it's a movement. And movements have a way of growing and becoming unstoppable. Prepare yourselves, for the age of the nest is upon us. Quote the Raven, nevermore. 80, solid stuff, and yeah, obviously I'll change his name in a second, but I didn't want to spoil that, even though anybody could probably figure it out on their own. So yeah, we'll see how this goes for, obviously there's going to be some changes as far as who's getting booked in what kind of matches. Raven no longer sort of stuck in a tag team most likely, but we'll see what chemistry looks like. And then we have an interesting match as Lance Storm takes on TItus Tomko. And the announcers, say that, Lance Storm was upset that somebody like Tomko was on, had a match at Sacrifice, while a former, U.S. and tag team champion such as himself was not. Storm, former TV, and yeah. Well, I guess he was U.S. champ, but like again, Russo era doesn't really count. Former, TV champion and tag team champion was not even on the show. So he came out here to try to test his mettle against Tomko. And, this is a, I don't say underdog, but like, technical babyface against a, brute heel. So Storm gets his shots in, he gets a super kick, he even gets the Kingdom Maple Leaf on. But eventually Tomko, is able, to throw him out of the ring, send him into the guardrail, hit a hot shot on the guardrail, send him back in, hit the big boot, hit the Tomko, hit his big cutter, and actually get, a quasi pinfall lead over, like, he hits a low blow at some point to gain advantage, I'm sure. But Tomko gets a big win over Lance Storm here on Nitro, as this gets a 67, Tomko gets a 63, Storm gets a 76. They have great chemistry, actually, which is interesting. And post-match, Tomko rolls out of the ring, and Storm is sort of like sitting in the ring, looking out, thinking to himself, as this gets a 63. And then we cut backstage, as Jeremy Borash is with Alex Wright, who of course lost last night at Sacrifice, and, Borash asked him about that, and, Wright is like, Borash, you don't understand this business. You don't understand a man such as this Wonderkid. I will not deny that I failed last night, but a war is not won in one battle. AJ Styles, you achieved victory last night. But deep in your heart, at many times I was this close to ending your reign, just like that. One more time, I would have hit the DDT or locked you in the STF and made you hand over your world championship to me. So, last night, next week here in Nitro, I'm calling out a former world champion, Rey Mysterio Jr. You face me in the ring, and after I defeat you, I will show I am worthy of another title shot. And AJ Styles, if you're not giving me one other run, it'll simply be proof that you are scared of the truth, that I am Das Wunderbar. And I will take that title from you. Good promo, challenging Rey next week as this gets an 85. And then we have an interesting little segment as we see, we sort of cut to a, airport, not airport, but like a, airport terminal, hangar. And we see a private plane, little, red carpet steps. And we see in the background, two large Japanese men standing at the stairs. And Kaz and Yang are there with Stacey Keebler. And, they're staying silent as Stacey says, look, after what happened last night, our financiers are disappointed. There's time for reorganization, and I'm going back to Japan for that reorganization. I'll be back in a couple weeks. Until then, dominate and do without me. So, Stacey Keebler is going back to Japan for some reorganization. So, yeah, was there, 87, because, yeah, Keebler is great. And then we have ODB. Oof, this was not as good as I expected. ODB defeating Ariel War in about 5 minutes. Honestly, this is just a little bit to reheat ODB. Unfortunately, I don't have much to do for Ariel at the moment. She's sort of like our heel jobbers to go with Vivez and Jonah as our face jobbers. So 5 minute, total squash. Like, Amber gets a little bit of offense in, but it's mostly just ODB running her over, eventually hitting a big splash, and like a big Dusty Sail elbow for the win. She gets a 54, Amber gets a 48. Got dinged for probably no storyline. Then ODB celebrates to a 48 as the announcer's put over. She's a tough part of the, she's a tough, strong part of the women's division here in WCW. Oof. Okay. Yeah. So this is about what I expected. I was reminded when I was going to book them a couple weeks ago in a match that they had bad chemistry. But they had decent matches before, so I tried it. I kind of forgot Booker was injured. But yeah, I mean, and this, did I put it as a brawl? I did not. Okay. So Shelton and Divine are at ringside and they get involved, not heavily, but this is basically just the match I probably should have booked during the build-up. And Booker gets the win over Jarrett with the bookend. It is what it is. Just a good little win to sort of put, a ending point on the feud. Have a sort of big time match with probably draw some ratings. Gets a 77. Jarrett gets an 80. Booker gets a 64 because he's injured. And also, I think he's in time decline. No, okay, he's just injured as a poor gimmick. Okay. Honestly, once he's no longer injured and I can re-gimmick him, he might be actually still some various... I mean, he's still stupidly over, so there's that. Anyway, post-match, Booker and Shelton celebrate, but AMW come out to the top of the ramp, of course, because AMW last night defeated Nikio and seemed to be the number one contenders, at least on Nitro. I mean, we know what Revolution's doing, that's another show. But 72, good stuff. And then, coming back for commercial, Ken Anderson's music hits, and he gets a big pop as, of course, everybody's favorite a-hole comes down to the ring. He takes the mic and says, it feels good to be standing in this ring tonight, especially after giving Tank Dolan the ass whooping with this drop that he so desperately deserved at Sacrifice. You see, Tank, you could play mind games with Ken Anderson and walk away and get away with it. We learned how way that you don't mess with the best. But enough about Tank. There's bigger fish to fry here in WCW. I've been watching all these jokers trying to make a name for themselves. So it's time for some new business. The Nest, Raven, you're a gothic daycare center, need to understand something. This isn't a horror movie, it's professional wrestling, and I'm the leading man. Big pop for that. Then there's Alex Wright, Das Wunderbar. Alex, you walk around here like you're God's gift to wrestling, but let me remind you, I'm the guy who brings real energy to the show. You talk about being a technical wrestler, that's all good, but I could kick your ass from one side of Milwaukee to the other if you wanted. So please, if you really want a challenge, come and face me, and I'll remind you why you're just a German joke. Maybe I'll give you some schnitzel. And then finally he says, and then there's Brother Ray. Brother, we fought together, and it's been good. But you've been whining and whining and whining about disrespect. You beat up Guerrero in a Choco Death match. And look, that's fine. I'm all for getting somebody that just desserts, and Guerrero, he deserved it. But now you think you're the big bad wolf of this company. But here's the thing, Ray. Whining doesn't get your respect, winning does. In case you haven't noticed, winning is what I do best. So, let's talk what's next for me. The biggest a-hole in WCW. I've been Toland, I've lost in the face of danger, and I've entertained each and every with you every time I've stepped in this ring. The future's wide open, and I'm looking for new horizons, new challenges, and new gold to put around my waist. Whoever steps to the plate next, just remember, you're stepping in the ring with the most charismatic, ass-kicking, name-taking superstar in WCW, the Ultimate A-Hill, Ken Anderson. There you go, 100, because Anderson's great, and yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I don't even like Anderson that much, but he's getting, the, CPU fans sure like him. And then we have our Revolution recap, focusing, of course, on Kanyon and O'Hare. 74. And then, yeah, that's what I expected. So this is a, like, you know, it's a tough match, but, like, it's not like Brother Ray immediately cheats. Like, it's brawling, like, you know, Truth is saying his stuff, even the consequence, Brother Ray's throwing around, lariats, big shoulder blocks, power slams, press slams, more big brawling. But eventually, like, Brother Ray does pull out a chair and just whallops Truth with it to get the pinfall victory here. Actually, no, not a chair. Sorry, he actually gets a chain out and whallops Truth with it and gets a pinfall victory right here on Nitro with an 88. We'll even say, like, Truth actually, like set up a table earlier, even though nobody went, you know, even though he actually went going through it. Just so, like, there's some just desserts here. But Brother Ray gets a 92, Truth gets an 85, and, you know, Truth is down, and Brother Ray still has the chair, and instead of, like, you know, there's a moment as he's celebrating, and then he looks over Truth, who's still down, and he looks at the chair, but then he drops it and walks away. 85 for this ending angle. As we move forward here on Nitro, and the show itself gets us a 90. Okay, that's about what I expected. Yeah, like, you know, we had two, you know, insane promos. Not the best night in ring. Like, really the only good match was, the women's tag match was good, so that's good. But outside of that, like, there's nothing really outside of the main event. So it is what it is. Let's move forward, and I'll be back with you in just a moment because, you know, I'm still booking WWE as we lead up to Mania. So, as a quick check-in, as I'm continuing my build-up for WrestleMania, we had the APA welcome everybody to the Tag Team Invitational, which was set up on SmackDown, and we had Chris New York, all basically the tag teams that have built up either by the game or me. So we have, Christian New York and Lance Cade, Chuck Taylor and Robbie C as a club crew, LA Smooth and ECMO as the Samoan Gangster Party, Matt Patelli and Shark Boy, who the game has built up, the Sex Machines of Viscera and Rico Constantino, Sandman and Maven, and of course the Outcasts of Tommy Dreamer and Rhino. But in the end, I put the Samoan Gangster Party over, the game hasn't really used them yet, just as sort of like a force push. We'll see what happens here. And also Test got involved and attacked Albert during the Battle Royal. And then after, basically Bradshaw and Farouk were like, okay, who the hell are you? And the ECMO and LA Smooth just attacked, JBL and Farouk, setting up the tag team match for WrestleMania. Again, not the best booking, but I sort of wanted to do something different, and the other two big tag teams sort of were otherwise indisposed. Then Edge came back, cut a big promo about returning by SmackDown. Big Show came out and said, basically, he's been gone for months while he's been fighting the good fight. Edge is like, you've been your ass kicked weekly by Jericho, and I can kick your ass as well. So, main event set up. There you go. 90, Batista killed Ron Waterman in a 69. Then he has a response to Vampiro saying, Vampiro can say he was all under control. Yeah, that was at first, but he became his own man. He's no longer the Leviathan. He is Batista, and he's going to kick Vampiro's ass and end his history with him at WrestleMania. 82, not bad. We had a Chris Jericho hype package, which was basically just a history of Jericho in WWE. Again, this is a Jericho who I believe, hold on, let me see here. Yeah, let me see here, title history. Yeah, this is a Chris Jericho who in this history of reality has never been a world champion. So that's sort of the underlying storyline is Jericho facing, possibly, at least in WWE canon, the best of all time to win the world title. Then we had a 4-way women's match. There's the women fighting, more hype for the Playboy Battle Royal, and then Carlito coming out because he's cool. He's going to be the special referee. We had a Shawn Michaels hype package, again, going over, his comeback from injury, his recent heel turn and formation of DX 2.0, and all that good stuff. Then we have the Juice is Loose with DDP, basically going over the big 4-way match at Mania for the IC title, which got to 74. We had CM Punk defeated Steven Richards, just honestly as a test of where Punk was, and then he cuts a promo on Streets of Suburbs, making some sly comments about both Homicide and Spanky, since he had history with them in the Indies. Again, this is CM Punk. 81, so not bad. Then we got our main event of the Edge beating Big Show. It was okay because there's no storyline. And then Benoit, Regal, and Edge fought. And then we had sort of a final confrontation between Jericho and HBK. Just imagine any great Jericho HBK promo in this time period in a world where Jericho, was never world champion. Sort of like that, even though he's a babyface, that sort of 2001, I'm not a joke, Jericho. Michaels as pure egotistical, sort of self-serving heel, bringing something to the masses, Messiah, all that good stuff, and then, so there we go. Good show, 89. Again, I'm trying to book the best shows for both companies at the moment. But, holy shit. What? Oh my god. This is hilarious. Okay, so in 01 news, it has been reported that Tiger Mask 4 has been apparently spoken to release after leaving several threatening messages for Otani, head broker of the promotion. The cause of friction between two is unknown, but commented there's been a lot of bad blood, and yeah, okay. Holy shit. Now, here's the thing. Maybe not by 2006, but 2001, Japan would totally make this an angle. And looks like Kevin Nash might be re-signed, so yay for him. But yeah, I'll be back in just a moment with Revolution. Well, actually, let me double check. Yeah, that's spoilers of a bit. But again, as medical, just in case people missed it, Lizzy Duma is out for 2 months. She can work angles. I just thought canon, it makes sense for her to still be in Chicago getting worked on. And yeah, that's it for the moment. So I'll be back with Revolution, like I said, as we begin the road to WrestleWar. And welcome everybody to Revolution, live from, I believe, the Bilo Center in Charleston, South Carolina, in front of 14,000 people. And the show starts out with your still WCW World Champion, AJ Styles, coming down to the ring and taking the mic and saying, last night at Sacrifice, I walked in this ring and did exactly what I said what I do. I defeated Alex Wright and proved once again why I am the WCW World Champion. But that was before. Now it's time to look at the future and WrestleWar. And that road to WrestleWar begins tonight. My next challenger is none other than Rob Van Dam. RVD, you're one of the best in the world. Nobody can deny that. You main evented Starrcade. You've been successful wherever you go in this business, from Japan to ECW to WCW. You were the hottest free agent signing in the business when you came into this company a few years ago, and you rose right to the top. And you've got a style that many have tried to copy, but few have gotten to the top. But here's the thing. You went back to Paul Heyman, and that's where you lost my respect. Because Heyman is nothing but a sleazy, slimy parasite on this business, and you're better than that. At least I thought so. But let's get one thing straight. When you step in this ring at WrestleWar, it won't be personal. It's about one thing, this, as he points to the title. About proving who the top guy in this business is, about showing the world that AJ Styles is still the face that runs this place, and the top guy in professional wrestling. I've climbed to the top of this mountain, and I don't have to let somebody like you, Rob, take me down, especially with Heyman in your corner. And of course, cue walk, and out comes Heyman and RVD, up to the top of the ramp. And Heyman takes the mic and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. I'm the advocate for the next WCW World Champion, Mr. Wednesday Night, Mr. Pay-Per-View, the whole effing show, the number one guy on Revolution, and this whole damn business, Rob Van Dam." But everybody knows that already. So let's talk about you, AJ. There's no denying your talent. In another world, maybe in a world ruled by Extreme, you've been one of my guys, a shining star in the ECW arena, leading a new breed of professional wrestlers and a new generation of Extreme. But that's not the world we live in. Instead, you became the supposed face of WCW, like you climbed to the top of this mountain and you did it with style. And I respect that, AJ. I really do. But here's the thing. Respect doesn't change the fact that at WrestleWar, you are standing in the way of the next world champion, Rob Van Dam, and his destiny to once again become the WCW World Champion. And he already points himself. Next man says, "That's right, AJ. Man, you're a great wrestler, but I'm just that much better, man." See, RVD is just more than a high-flying, risk-taking, stealing wrestler. He is all that. But he's a force of nature, a man who has redefined what it means to be a champion in this business. And AJ, no matter how good you are, no matter how much you believe you are the face that runs this place, you cannot stop the inevitable. At WrestleWar, everybody, will witness my client, Rob Van Dam, once again rising to the top of the WCW. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing you can do about it, AJ. You're a phenomenal athlete, a worthy champion, but you're a mere stepping stone on RVD's path back to glory. You know, AJ takes the mic back. He says, you know, Heyman, you may be right. I may drop the world title at WrestleWar, but that's only if Van Dam can be that much better than me. And he has not proven that yet in that ring. But tonight, we've got a little preview as you're teaming with the Jet Set, and I'm teaming with the WCW World Tag Team Champions, Booker and Shelton, or with the Hardy Boys, sorry, my bad. And we're just going to see if you can defeat me in that ring and give me a blemish. But I don't think that's not going to happen, because I am phenomenal. I'm the face that's run this place, and I'm still WCW World Champion, and I still will be after WrestleWar. So there you go, some fun little build to the main event at WrestleWar, which I think I booked already, but let's just, okay, yeah, so let's make that official, even though I probably should have done it right after the pay-per-view. I have AJ Styles versus Rob Van Dam for the WCW World Championship. And that got a 93. Got the announcing color commentary ding, but yeah, good stuff. And we come back with a bit of a preview match, as it's been announced that Siaki will face Matt Sydal next week on Revolution for the television title, and Keith Walker and Jonathan Swinger have had some problems the past couple weeks, ever since there was that triple threat match for the basically number one contendership to the TV title. And so we have a little tag match as Swinger and Siaki team up to face Sydal and Walker, and basically it's a Swinger and Walker, brawling, and eventually Siaki takes advantage, runs, Sydal into the corner. Sydal goes up top, misses a big 450 splash. Siaki gets his knees up, takes advantage, hits a low blow, and hits a sort of like swing STO to pick up the victory, of course, with some hands on some tights, to retain the WCW, to get the big win just a week before they face off for the television title. Let's get to 66, pretty solid match. Walker gets a 51, Sydal gets a 66, Siaki gets a 69, and Swinger gets a 50. And post-match, Siaki is cocky, making title belt motions, while we see Walker and Swinger rolling to the back once again in the background, as this gets a 49. And then we go backstage, where we have, Maulie Mayhem, of course, attacked All That Out Alexander next week, and was basically, given some help by European Disunion, is backstage, and he's like, look, I've great respect for you guys, but I can bring some mayhem to European Disunion, even though, I'm not European, but, my family's German and Dutch, I think. And, Nikita's like, you tried your best last week, but you didn't quite weren't successful. But we still think you have a chance to become a member of European Disunion. But to prove yourself, I want you to go out there tonight and take care of Angel Fox to prove how good you're being, how good you can be. But then as they're talking, they're interrupted by All That Alexander coming in and says, Nikita, Lucina, Maulie, I'm here to remind you, I'm going to talk to Teddy Long, and one way or the other, I'm going to get a women's title match. And I want to put you that your women's title reign is on notice, Nikita. And he's like, Fraulein, I have defeated the best in this business. Do you think you can take this title off of me? And there's a stare down before, it looks like there's going to be attack. But Nikita basically calls off the dog, says, not yet. We allow this woman to believe she has a chance against greatness. So 64, solid stuff. Some of these women aren't over ratings, all fun stuff. But we have a little stuff for a little women's match later, and some, advancing some storylines. And then we cut backstage where we have Kurt Angle and Sean O'Haire backstage, as they put over that they're facing off against the Thrillers next week. And there's like, look, Angle, I've had my runs with these guys before, and I'm sure we can work together and bring a future talk to WCW and take out the Thrillers tonight once and for all. It's like, that's all I want, because I want some intensity, intelligence, and integrity tonight, O'Haire, as we take these guys apart. And Angel pumps some fists, and then O'Haire, basically walks out of the ring, or out of the backstage area, and then after a moment, in comes Kanyon. And he says, hey, Kurt, got a minute? And Angle's like, what's up? And, Kane's like, look, I just want to drop before a match. I've been run-ins with both Palumbo and Jindrak, so I'm not sure we're up against, but there's something else on my mind. And he says, look, O'Hare's had his problems with the Thrillers before. They have a common enemy. But, honestly, I don't know how much you can trust him right now. He's been going off the rails a bit. And I'm worried just what he's willing to do to get the win, especially even if it means running over you. And I was like, look, I appreciate the heads up, but as long as he works with me tonight in that tag match, I don't really care about any issue he has with you or anybody else. I'm focused on the Thrillers, and I'm trusting him to have my back against Palumbo and Jindrak, and that even if we have some issues, better allies against a common enemy than anything else. So you both want to settle the score with them, and after that, if you want to face them in the match, hey, that's your deal. But I won't forget what you said. In this business, you gotta always be prepared for anything. So thanks for looking out. And, Kane says, hey, just give me a warning. Good luck out there. Of course, Kane and O'Hare have had their problems the past couple weeks, and now they're, Angle and O'Hare are teaming up later tonight, and this gets to 97 because these guys are really good. So fun stuff, moving some storylines, setting things up, giving a little bit of, what could happen. And then we have Leppan killing Romy Rossi in about 5 minutes. This is just Romy gets a little bit of offense in, but this is basically a squash, just powerhouse. Throwing around big lariats, a big power slam, eventually hitting his finisher that I have to remember to look up, and just defeating. Rossi gets a little bit of high flying offense near the end, but eventually Rossi catches him. Power slam, lariat, finisher, 1, 2, 3, 70. Leppan gets a 78. Rossi gets a 50, and yeah. But then Leppan takes the mic and says, yeah, I know. Which makes space. Once again, I have given no respect. Look at the competition I've been given. I am the biggest international star in WCW. I am a South African sensation, and I want some true competition in that ring against the top stars of WCW, not the leftovers. Because I will not be denied my chance at greatness, because I am Ray Leppan. So there we go, 78, decent little heel promo, basically saying he wants some real competition. 78, good stuff, pushing things forward. And then we have a little VTR video segment as we basically have Mesias returning home to Puerto Rico, and we not out of the makeup totally, but he's in normal clothes, he's not scary, and he there's sort of a voiceover as he says, for years I've been under a spell. And that spell was finally broken. But it took time to become myself again. No longer am the monster Mesias, but Judas Mesias. A man born in Puerto Rico. A man born with the will to fight. A man with the will to rise to greatness. But, Monty Brown, you tried to attack me and destroy me. But what's not coming to you is not the monster, but Judas Mesias. A man willing to go to war. So just 99, as, just sort of because he turned face a while ago, but he was still basically just monster character. And this is sort of honestly, a way so I can actually give him promos. So there we go. 99, good stuff, because Mesias is really over. And there we go. And then we have just a little, a quick little segment backstage of basically the AJs and Hardys in their, in their locker room, start stretching. We, there's no, no voice, we don't hear them talking, but they are talking, and they're using charisma to make some points. AJ pointing, what's the word I'm looking for here? Miming a move, Hardy says back, and these 6-man team is getting ready for the big main event later tonight. As it gets a 72, and then we have Angel Fox taking on Maulie Mayhem, and Maulie tries here. She does her brawling, some throwing around Angel Fox, but Angel Fox comes back with a big drop kick, big bulldog, and eventually hits her Angel Snap move to get the pinfall victory here in a little over 6 minutes with the with the Angel Snap. 70, good stuff. Angel Fox is 79. He's just put over that her and Natty Neidhart are in line for a women's tag team title shot after defeating Gail Kim and Alli Danger last week when Alli Danger turned on her mentor, and Mayhem gets a 50. But then post match, we have a beatdown as in comes Messina Busick for the big brawl, and eventually in comes a Alyssa Alex, first comes in, as this 2-on-1. So Nightheart makes a save, but she gets beat down as well. Eventually, Nightheart, all that Alexander comes in and just like wallops Bizuka from behind. It's a big spine buster on Mayhem. The heels roll outside, and she stands tall. And unfortunately, I guess they can't quite do 4 minutes of brawling because they're not over yet. But not the end of the world. 52, good stuff as we move forward. And then we cut backstage as we have, Ray Leppan is backstage, sort of like macking on a random woman who just happens to be future TNA interviewer Goldilocks, I guess. As, he's saying, have you met a true international star before? Because let me tell you, it's not just about the wrestling ring, it's about living life on a grand scale. And Teddy Long comes in and says, sort of like steps in the frame and, taps on Ray's shoulder and says, Ray, hoping not entering anything too important here. And Leppan's like, Teddy, what do I have the pleasure? If you're a bask in the glow of a national star, you're welcome. Says, actually, Ray, I came to talk business. I heard what you said earlier about wanting some real challenge. Well, I got just the thing for you, playa. Next week, right here in Revolution, you're going to step in a ring with a man who's known for shocking the world. A man who brings high-flying excitement and unpredictability every time he steps through those ropes. I'm talking about one man, and that's Jack Evans. And, Leppan's, spark falters for a moment, but then, he, gets back, focused back in and says, Jack Evans, you think you can handle what I bring to the ring? I've dominated competition across the globe. This is about acrobatics or high flying or appealing to the teeny boppers, Teddy. This is about wrestling, and I am a master of that craft in the ring. And, Teddy says, Ray, I have no battle abilities, but Jack Evans isn't someone to take lightly, playa. He's wild crowds worldwide, and next week, you'll have a chance to prove just how good you really are. You win hell of a match, and I suggest you bring your A game. And, Ray's like, Teddy, you'll be disappointed. Also, Jack Evans and everyone else, not just an international star, but the future of WCW. So let's make it happen. And, Teddy, nods, and Ray turns back to the woman. And there you go. Yeah, okay, that's what I figured. 80, good stuff. Setting up a big match next week. Leppan versus Jack Evans. Then we have Monty Brown killing Chase Stevens in 2 minutes with a pounce. Like, Chase Stevens, like, this is just like, boom, big boot, throw around, spear, pounce, ding, just complete squash. Monty gets an 86, Chase Stevens gets a 29. And then as Chase is getting up, Monty kills him again to, send a message to Mesias as this gets a 71. And then we cut backstage where Amy Weber is with Alli Danger. And, Amy Weber asks, Alli, last week on Revolution, everybody was shocked when you turned on your mentor, Gail Kim. So everybody's wondering, why did you do that? And, Alli Danger's like, well, the first mix you made is call Gail Kim my mentor. I never needed a mentor. Gail Kim was not my mentor. That was a decision made by officials backstage who thought I need someone to show me the ropes here in WCW. But the reality is wrestling is in my blood. It's part of who I am. Little note to her brother being Steve Bruno. Gail Kim, look, she's a former women's champion, so I'm not going to say she's nothing. But just because someone's been around longer doesn't mean they have anything to teach me, Alli Danger. I've been around this business for a long, long time before I stepped foot in this ring, learning, growing, and evolving. I'm just not a rookie who needs hand-holding in this business. So, what everybody in WWE needs to understand, it's time for a new generation of women to lead the way. I'm at the forefront of that change. I'm here to make a statement, to carve my own path. I'm not even stepping over Gail Kim or anyone damn else. That's just the way it's got to be. So, Gail, nothing personal, but you should have known better to think you could mold me in your image. I'm not your protege. I'm Alli Danger, and I'm a force to be reckoned with. If Gail or anybody else tries to stand in my way, they'll find what it means to enter the danger zone. And she walks away, and there we go. So sort of like, setting things up. She was never really her partner, and there we go. So let's get to 64. Good stuff as this feud continues. And then we have, basically RVD, Heyman, and the Jet Set all backstage, talk, again, no, like, sound here, just like, sort of like, just putting up for the big tag match later, as, Cash and Jet are smooching with Heyman, and RVD is, like, stretching in the background as this gets a 68. And move forward on the show, as we have Chuck Palumbo and Mark Jindrak coming down to the ring. on their motorcycles with Raven Rain, and they get in the ring and says, Palumbo says, Kurt, I hope you're watching closely, because what you're about to witness is a lesson in real wrestling. This isn't your Olympic mat, and it sure as hell isn't Vince's world anymore. This is WCW, and more importantly, this is Revolution, my show. And Sean, really? You think he's going to have your back tonight? Let's not forget. Sean, I took you out, and I shocked the world when I turned you on the first time, and you may have had your little moment as world champion, but let's face it, you're just keeping my seat warm. Unlike my reign, where I made it at Starrcade, the grandest stage in our industry. Christina just pointed out that O'Haire actually held the title for longer. And look, Sean, you never really got your revenge, truly. Yeah, you beat me a couple times, but you never left me laying. You never chased me away. I'm still here at the top of this business. And tonight won't be any different. You're stepping into Thrillers, the very definition of dominance in this business. You might have your time your spotlight, but that's over now. It's our time, and we're done with everybody why we mean business. And Jindrak says, and Kurt, remember this. Especially here in Revolution, it's a whole different ball game. We don't play by your rules. We set the standards. We are the bar. Tonight, you and O'Haire are going to learn that the hard way. And, Palumbo finished off saying, so, Angle, Sean, get ready. We're not here to put on a show. We're not here for the spotlight. We're here to dominate, to conquer, and ground you into the dirt. To remind everybody, we are the top dogs on this show. And if you're not careful, there'll just be another couple names added to our lists of conquered opponents. Welcome to our world and our ring. So 84, decent little promo. Angle and O'Haire come out. And, okay, good stuff. Wait, hold on, what happened here? Road agent notes. Okay. Oh, okay. Weird that it didn't. Weird that the booking. Okay. That's odd. Usually the booking works that way. Maybe because I had. Okay, anyway, you can sort of see the booking here. Like O'Haire, Jindrak and Palumbo are sort of a well-oiled machine as a team, and like they keep O'Haire like down early. Palumbo mocking him, but eventually O'Haire fires back, hits a little House of Fire segments, including hitting Jindrak with a huge power slam. Palumbo comes in, he gets with a lariat, hot tagged Angle hits suplexes on everybody. Things break down. O'Haire comes in and he eventually goes to nail Palumbo, but he gets out of the way at the last second, and O'Haire ends up nailing Angle with a big boot. Palumbo tosses, O'Haire out of the ring, hits the full throttle. 1, 2, 3, Chuck Palumbo, pins Kurt Angle here on Revolution. This gets an 85, O'Haire gets a 78, Angle gets a 96, Palumbo gets an 82, and Jindrak gets a 74. And post-match, Jindrak and Palumbo were all the ring celebrating. And, Angle is, sort of surprised. And O'Haire rolls back in. They try to explain. And, eventually Kanyon actually comes down to the ring and, tries to, point out to O'Haire what he did. Angle gets pissed at O'Haire. O'Haire gets pissed at Kanyon. And then eventually O'Haire actually goes after Kanyon, and Angle tries to break it apart, gets pushed down by both men. And it's a three-way, sort of like stare down as we go to commercial, as this gets an 80. Lots of tension. We have our Nitro recap, of course, working on Brother Ray and the whole big thing where he didn't actually hit the truth of the chair, which is odd. Then we have our main event. Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, I sort of expected this might be a little worse than the main event, but gotta put your world title match in the main event, even though maybe this could have been better. Yeah, maybe a mistake, but oh well. Very typical, six-man tag. AJ, Jeff, and Matt all go their spots. Jet Set work well as a heel team. RVD comes in for his spots. Eventually, RVD and AJ, have a little back and forth with AJ actually getting the advantage, hitting the big forearm for a near fall. Things break down, but Jeff Hart is actually able to, Matt and Jeff get cash. Twist of fate. Hardy tagged in. Jeff up top. Swanton bomb, and Jeff and Matt actually pin Cash. Jeff actually pins Cash with Swanton bomb in under over 15 minutes, as this gets an 81, Matt gets an 86, Hardy gets a 94, AJ gets a 94, Van Dam gets a 95, Cash gets a 75, Jet gets a 64, and yeah, Jet's still injured, but he's still working. And overall itself, the show gets an 89. Okay, so yeah, hey, helpful to have a couple great promo segments. Shocker. I'll be back in just a moment with the mail and going over things. I guess Miss Swallow is back after being injured, but still working. I mean, that is very much Mysterio. So then, let's see here. Kurt Angle thinks... I mean, that's mean. That's very mean. Okay, ECW is going broke. Alright, let's see here. Anything interesting? Nope, okay, so... So, first, let's look at WWE. They had SmackDown, which I booked. So, we had Gladiator calling out Brock again, but Edge basically interrupted and set up a match later for tonight. We had Billy Gunn feed Devonta Boy, and then Steiner running off Billy Gunn, and then cut a very Scott Steiner promo to set up their match further at WrestleMania. And then we had a backstage segment where Venus, Christian, DDP, and Rikishi were all part of the 4-way IC title match. Had an argument, and John Cena walked by Venus and said, "I'm going to prove I'm the best. Why I'm a 4-time IC champion by taking apart this rookie." Because the gimmick, almost randomly done with the AI, is he's been fighting like top guys like Undertaker. I think he fought I forget who else he fought, but other top guys, and he's been losing, but I've been saying he's been looking good. So there you go. Then we had this Moan Gangster Party of ECMO and Ellie Smooth killing Al Snow and Animal, and I think it was just only a couple minutes. Yeah, 4 minutes. But then SGB continued to kill Snow and Animal. Then we had a confrontation with APA and a brawl, and SGP took them out as well on this Go Home SmackDown. Then we had a Justice Foley hype music video putting over the Asylum match. Then we had Veronica Vane, Amber James, and Chrissy Cummings defeat Elizabeth Love, Chantel Fierce, and Jimmy Keys in a women's match. And then Carlito breaks things up and actually did Carlito things by basically insulting all the women. Which got a 44. Which actually, okay, so basically what happened here is, Val Venis faced John Cena. He basically treated him like a joke, but eventually, I think it was DDP or maybe Rikishi or maybe Christian or maybe I had all three kind of basically distract, and that allowed John Cena to hit a quick roll up and actually pin the IC champion in a shocking moment for his first win, and then he, celebrated afterwards. Then we had a Kane Taker music video putting over, their match at Mania, including, clips of their last match at Mania. At 14 it was, right? Yeah. Then we had CM Punk going to double DQ with Michael Murray, when both a Carnage Carnival and Skyfall Kaiwan got involved, and fight. And then we had Jacqueline hosting a contract signing for the Women's Championship, because Jacqueline retired and became a color commentator, so she's sort of like official around. And then we had HBK Jericho music video, putting over their main event for the title, including, Jericho never being champion. Then we had Edge defeating the Gladiator, and then Edge, Big Mo, and Regal all brawling all over it in the show, and that's your Go Home SmackDown. That's if you go back in history, those pre-WrestleMania SmackDowns this era were basically that was way more big matches than they usually did. It was all complete squash jobs or angle matches. Angle isn't the angle, not Kurt Angle matches, and then a bunch of music videos. So sort of did the best, except I can't book complete crap. But outside of that, if we go to our DevFed, NBA Wildside, see TV show, Todd Stetson, Austin Creed defeat Rick Michaels and Matt Morgan. These guys are sort of getting there. TJ Perkins defeat Cassie O'Reilly. Jason Cross defeat Brett Major. Ryan Drago actually was in the main event. Yeah, the thing's Drago's not ready for the top of the card yet. And then we had Hardcore Hell, which had involved TJ Perkins defeating Brett Major in a 38. Yeah, those guys will be down for a while. Sexton, Hernandez, and Danielson defeat Tony Jones, Morgan, and Jarate. So yeah, again, Kenzo Suzuki destroyed Kurt Stallings. Ryan Drago defeated Onyx to still become the NWA Junior champion. Ray Gordy drew with Jimmy Rave. Interesting because it was mooking. And then, yeah. And with the weekly house show, Morgan Durate defeated Stallings and Major and TJ Perkins and Lance Hoyt in a match of people not quite ready for the main roster in a while. Drago versus Creed happened for the Georgia Junior title. Interesting. And yeah, that's about it. And then for AWQ, if we go up here, with the weekly show, which had Amazing Kong, Josie, and Blanchard defeat Carly Chambers, Ashley Lane, and Tanisha Bakers. Interesting stuff. Then we had Portia Perez and Tracy Taylor defeat Madison Eagles and Madison Sinclair. There we go. And then we had Malai Hosaka defeat Emi Sakura in a 74, because these women are both great. Super over in Southwest, and there you go. And then if we go to the HWA, they just had a big show. Let's see here. Caravanto is slowly getting there, I guess. Falabella defeated Cloudy. Barry Bradford defeated Darren Corbin. Horace Rada defeated Billy Bax. And Jimmy Jacobs, Ray Steel, and Excalibur defeated Alex Shelley and Dustin Lee and Idol Stevens. Minority defeated Drew Ronks and Misty Lee, bringing HW tag team titles. Yeah, I'll see at least one of these people who have way too good stats for their actual 19-year-old stuff, because they were not even a thing, I think, until the mid 2010s at best. So yeah. Let's see here. Ricky Page defeated Corey Castle and Billy Real, and Matt Striker is still your HWA champion, defeated Tyler Thomas, who's a regen. So there we go. Let's see here. OVW. I think OVW also had a big show. No, they had their weekly loop. Not much going on here. And also, Riptide won back the. No, sorry. I thought she. Okay, she must have won something else. Never mind. My bad. Yeah, I mean, OVW is OVW. Yeah, interesting stuff. But not much going on here. And then if we go to the rest of the wrestling world. Let's see here. If we go back to the last Revolution before this. Okay. So, right, Empro, but I showed you guys that one because it was the same night. 01 had a big show. Otani Hidaka got an 83. Let's see here. Nothing really much here of note. Onyx versus Tiger Mask 4. Sure. Let's see here. Anything else? New Japan had Wrestling Naku. I could have sworn I showed you. Oh, right, no, I wrote it up. Okay, so, of things of note. Brian Clark debuted, defeat Jinsei Sasaki. We had Agua, Super J, and Brian Adams defeat Bobby Roode, Jeff Beard, and Nito. So, yeah, there we go. Brother Yashi and Jun Akiwata won the IW Junior Tag titles from Gato and Jado. We had Nago McGuinness defeat Magnum Tokyo in what was not a junior heavyweight title match for some reason. We had Sakuraba defeat Liger and Hero in a very random, but very good, I guess, triple threat match. We had Bat defeat Ricky Gunn of Nagata and Izuka, so interesting there. Chono defeat Hase in our old man match, and a very weird four-way Sasaki defeat Chosu, Tanahashi, and Bam Bam, which was a 76. Being sure, Bam got a 39, Chosu got a 47. So imagine how good the Sasaki and Tanahashi match that I hope the IA will book soon would be. Then let's see here. ROH, which of course is actually Ring of Violence, had Quackenbush versus Chino Martinez in an Australian tables match. Dixie and Trent Acid versus Amazing Red and Jay Lethal. So yeah. Then Integrity also had a big show. Remember, this is the Ring of Honor replacement after Rob Black of XPW fame bought ROH in game. So we have, let's see here, Peter Goodman defeated Davey Richards. Darkness Crabtree defeated Jolly Roger in our Chikara offer match. Logan Kane defeated Emilio Cortez. Emilio's a regen. Logan's a random indie guy from the time period. Someone's Kennedy defeated Gore Shira. David Young defeated Eddie Cole and Shannon Moore. Sure. Let's see here. Doug Basha, Mark Mero, and Tony Kazina defeat Shane Balor, Justin Idol, and Chris Miltech. Justin Idol, is he a real guy? Yeah, he is. Let me see here. Okay, he's a random guy. Okay, sure. Then we had Striker and Bateman retain the basically tag titles over Shannon Ballard and Johnny Spade. Then Jerry Lynn defeated Perry Saturn and a Stranger retain the title. So there we go. NBW had a show. Nothing of note really. Lashley was there. That's where he went after time ran out on his career in WCW. Let's see here. Nothing really much of note, I think. Nope, that's it. All right. HWA, which I noted, but yeah. 3BW still exists. It's having Bruiser Mastino versus Ernest Miller as main events. So that's where they are. So that's about it. So yeah, moving down the road to WrestleWar. A couple big shows, as far as Nitro and Revolution go, based on what I set up for next week. But that's for now. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and like, comment below what you're liking and not liking, and subscribe to the channel for, at least for the moment, a lot of TIW 2020 content. And hopefully, with February starting in a couple days here, I'll be a little more consistent and start getting everything up, every week. Hopefully Friday we'll have the tradition where I take over WrestleMania booking, post that up. Hopefully it's really good. But yeah, that's it for now. So talk later, and adios. Have a good one.